Good day everyone, this is Patrick from EasyFX Code Trading System, and this Wednesday the 22nd of January 2020, and it is after 11 a.m. in Singapore, and this is the daily analysis for Euro, Cable and the Aussie dollar. Let's start off with the Euro dollar. And after pushing up to retest the 10 SMA here and almost reaching the lower bullish channel trend line, but it was rejected right at the weekly pivot line at 111.16. That's the weekly pivot for this week, and it has quickly reversed and fell back to the 62 Fib retracement level, and potentially exposing a further drop down to the weekly S1 pivot at 110.60. So that could be a potential target area if it does fall below the Fib level here. Let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame. And this was a clear rejection up here, along with the 55 and the 200 period EMA converging, so right along with the weekly pivot level. So we could probably move this now to this area as a key intermediate resistance level, and this could be a key support zone now from 110.70 to 110.60. All right, and potentially this could be a head and shoulders formation with a complex head and shoulders. So we could, if the weekly S1 does not hold, and depending on what the ECB meeting decisions are tomorrow, we'll see whether this area will hold as support. And then there's also Friday's flash manufacturing and services PMI, so those will play a key part as well on the Eurozone economic indicators. So in the short term, it's looking bearish for the Euro, and it's got a clear resistance up at 111 and support down at 1070 for now, but that could also be in danger. Right, so we'll see what Christine Lagarde and team decides tomorrow night. Let's move on to the cable. And sterling managed to find support along this rising trend line with the 55 daily 55 EMA, and attempted to climb up higher yesterday, especially with better than expected UK jobs report. Has pulled back slightly back down to the 62 Fib retracement level, and we'll see whether it's able to continue for the rest of the week. But 130 has been a key support area. Let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame. The weekly pivot for this week is at the 130.26, and the weekly R1 at 130.98, just right next to the 131 round figure, and that could be another attempt to retest that area. Support zone is still at the 130, Now with the rising trend line as support, let's adjust this slightly as well. Right, and you can see that it's also moving into the apex of a triangle. So it's due for breakout from this area, either breakout higher above the 62 Fib area to retest 131, or if it falls back, then it could bounce around within this zone for a while until it breaks out one way or the other. But at the moment, it's looking as if it's going to try to break out higher. But we'll see, because next week, on Thursday, there's going to be the Bank of England's rate decision. So that's going to be a key highlight for next week, and the pound will be very volatile until then. So it could try to move perhaps higher first before the meeting next week, and depends on further economic data. This Friday, they also have UK's flash manufacturing and services PMI, so that's another area to watch out for. All right, let's move on to the Aussie dollar. And it's not unexpected that following last week's end of the week fall to the trend line, that it was due for a break, and it has fallen right to the 62 Fib retracement level at the weekly S2 pivot at 0.6829, and this week's weekly pivot is at 0.6892. So it's fallen way below that already, so it needs to find support with some positive Australian jobs report tomorrow, employment report. So otherwise this support level will not hold, and it could expose the next round figure at 0.6800. Let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame. So this now is going to be a resistance level, resistance zone, and we could probably move this to this zone now as a intermediate support, with this next level as change this back to 2.68 here. All right. So if this breaks, the 0.68 round figure level will come into play. All right, and it's, you can see a couple of spikes here to the monthly pivot. This one just missing it slightly, but this looks like a massive peak with a head, couple of shoulders, and this could continue further down to the 0.68 level, or even attempt to reach the weekly S3 pivot at 0.6788, but we'll see what the data is tomorrow for the Australian jobs, and let's see whether there's going to be any support here. Alright, so do check out my other video on spot gold and dollar yen, and there'll be no weekly analysis this weekend due to the Lunar New Year holidays, and also for next week. So I'll be back the following Sunday for the next week's analysis. Alright, so meanwhile, trade well and trade safe, and cheers.